We love 15.
Coach of Jasmine Paolini. Yeah, Renzo Furlan, who was a very good player himself, wasn't he?
Yeah.
A few years ago now.
15.
It's one thing the Italian coaches always bring a lot of passion to the court. And it almost feels like they play the matches with you, which can help big time.
Yeah, you got some experience of that?
Yeah. Claudio Pistolesi was one of my coaches, and I always feel like he was sweating more watching my matches than me on the court.
Let's for serve.
Did you like to see that on the sidelines, Danny? Did you like to see that investment from your coach? Or...
I loved it, Nick, because I feel like, you know, he really cared. And because they are former players, they could really relate to how I was feeling out there. Yes, the forehand inside out. That Jasmine has improved so much over the last couple of months. He's become really confident on that shot. He's trusting it much more than a couple of years ago.
Oh. Game, Paolini. First game.
And one thing I would say, Nick, with the Italian tennis, since I trained there for quite some time, is that their strength is that they make their players play their best with what they've got. You know, very different techniques, very different sizes of the players' physicalities, but like Lorenzo did here with Jasmine, he didn't really change much, but he just wanted to make sure she feels more confident with what she's got in the game. Plus they bring the passion into it. So, you know, that combined, suddenly you have so much more energy on your side of the court.
And that's so important, isn't it? Because it's so easy for coaches to fall in the trap of having, this is how I coach, this is my style, this is what I want to do to you. Whereas actually it's the other way around, Danny, isn't it?
100%. The best coaches in the world, Nick, know how to adjust to the player, not having the player adjust to their kind of ideas.
Yeah, it's a real skill to be able
Anna
to
Kalinskaya
put yourself in the shoes of your player, effectively.
Yep.
And there is not a lot in it.
Yep.
In the win predictor. Despite the fact there's a relatively decent gap in rankings between the two. It's nice to strike. And Patricia Tarabini, of course, is the coach of Anna Kalinskaya. Know her, Danny?
In fact, I'm digging deep now, Nick, but I do believe I might have played her here in my very first Australian Open.
Okay, well we can check that out for you.
I'm guessing though. I think in the qualies, my first time main draw was against Kornikova, but I think I could be right here. Obviously, she was a fantastic doubles player. And a lot of success there.
Game Kalinskaya. One game on.
Did a good job end of last year, did Kalinskaya. With her ranking dropping, she actually made the decision to take a step down and level. I mean, if you look what her ranking was at October last year, late October, she was 115, so she wasn't going to be in directly here, but chose to go and play some 125s, and that paid off nicely
15.
because she actually won one, ended up making the final, and was back in the top 100 again.
Yeah, sometimes it's such a good thing to do, Nick, to kind of step down and maybe have to deal with things at the tournaments that you take for granted. So then when you come back to the biggest tournaments, you appreciate it just a little bit more.
15 on.
Few injury problems as well. Missed the majority of the summer last year, did Kalinskaya. Didn't play, in fact, between Rome and the US Open, so missed a good couple of months of the season. There's some time on that forehand, though, and she can flatten that ball out nicely.
Yeah, and that is the shot, Nick, that has worked so well against Long Stevens. She likes to use that whenever she has a short ball, step in, take it on the rise. Beautiful shoulder turn as well. Textbooks.
Oh.
Unable to get underneath that one.
15-40.
No chances to break here early on.
Game Kalinskaya.
Hitting the ball very cleanly indeed in
Kalinskaya
these early
by
moments
2
is Anna
games to
Kalinskaya.
1.
She gets the first break. Let's bring Laura into the conversation. I think Laura's courtside from my vantage point. Laura.
Hello.
There you go.
Hi.
We've got you down there. What's the conditions like down there? Pretty cool this evening, I would imagine.
So happy to be with you guys. It is cool down here. I've planned ahead and I brought a blanket with me, so I'm ready for all outcomes. But it's a little breezy down on court as well. There's some wind picking up through the stadium. I feel like from the end that Kalinskaya was just at, there's a bit of a breeze behind her. But I'll monitor it as the match goes on.
Good stuff. We'll be back with you in a moment.
Yeah, it is pretty breezy outside, but we are coming here to the comms. I feel like this wind was starting to pick up, so if you want to play in a protected arena, this is the place to be.
were discussing the surface earlier on, Danny, because you said to me you think this court is potentially a little bit slower than some of the other ones.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. I had a hit, 3 days ago? And we had a beautiful hit the other day.
We did.
On
We got out there.
MCA, and that felt much, much quicker than this one. So sometimes beginning of the match just takes you a little bit time if you didn't have your warm-up on this court the same day to get used to different conditions.
Good rally that was again.
From what I hear amongst the players, it sounds like 1573 is the fastest court, and then this one, one of the, well, basically the slowest stadium when you compare it to MCA and Rod Laver.
It was only a few years ago they changed to the green set, wasn't it? It was, I think it was it plexi cushion before, and they made the switch to the green set, maybe 2021, 2022 possibly.
Yeah, the plexi plate was a little bit more bouncy. Had more time to hit the ball. This one is great if you hit the ball flat. Slice is very, very effective.
Some very good all-court tennis.
Yeah, Jasmine is starting to feel much more confident at the net as well. Playing doubles here with Sara Errani. Such an experienced doubles player to have on the same side of the court.
Amazing to watch the forehand up close because she gets such a good spacing, doesn't she, between her and the ball. The arc on the forehand really is able to generate some pace.
And a beautiful wrist action as well. Yep.
15-14.
I really feel with Paolini's forehand though that it drops short most of the time. It looks like she's loading through the legs and doing all the right things, but then there's so many balls that land just beyond the service line, and people don't take advantage of it as much as they could.
Game, Paolini.
That was just a fraction too ambitious. That didn't miss by a lot, but got to break back immediately here.
Yeah, Jasmine will take it because she's not looking as comfortable as she was in her previous matches. Obviously a lot of nerves given how much there is on the line. Today's matchup for them. Just overheating it a little bit on the last couple of shots. She got such a beautiful, easy timing on the ball.
Was it the right choice? That's the question. Looked like there was a space there.
There was a space, Nick, but I feel like Anna wasn't pushed that far behind the baseline. Ideally, you want to hit the drop shot when you've got your opponent at least good meter, 2 meters behind. So they have to take more distance to get to the drop shot. Then it doesn't have to be that good.
Remember how the injury occurred actually in Rome last year. She was playing Rybakina, and it was a very innocuous stretch and slide, and actually ended up doing the splits, and then within a game or so was forced to retire and wasn't seen again for 2.5 months. So it was a nasty injury. Didn't look a whole lot at the time, but
30-40.
took a while to recover from.
Yeah, I guess Paolini being as fast as she is, you better be careful when you hit your drop shot. I feel like Kalinskaya there should have just gone for the forehand up the line. She was in that right position to do so.
Advantage, Kalinskaya.
Didn't need to be anywhere near that good, did it? That's the frustrating part.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many of those missed from Jasmine in this tournament so far. That's why she got to this stage without dropping a set yet.
Yeah, beat Schneider, Tatiana Maria, and Blinkova. That is quite brilliant from Kalinskaya. And we've had a third break on the bounce here. That was a special volley.
Yeah, she seems to be very comfortable at the net. Obviously, having Patricia Terabin, a very experienced doubles player back in her time, can only help. Also, I feel she knows when to come and what kind of shot to use as her approach. As I said, especially with the forehand, she makes the transition inside of the court so naturally. She's a really fun player to watch.
You guys talking about the pathway of Paolini to get to this stage. I really felt in the last match Blinkova just ran out of gas. She led 4-1 in the second set, had a break, looked like she was cruising a little bit, and then the legs failed her. She couldn't find enough space around the ball anymore, and Paolini was ready to pounce.
Yeah, she's pretty good at that, isn't she? Has that sort of personality. Someone that always lets you know she's there in terms of her intensity on court. Fair bit to be said for that as well in this sport.
Love
Big
15.
inning.
Yeah, that's a better forehand.
15 on.
Just a little bit more shape. She's got a great ability to either hit the forehand with a lot of shape on it, but also hit through it. More of a flat shot, especially when she comes in behind it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like she struggles to time the ball,
Yep.
does she? Seems fairly kind of gifted in that department.
Thirty 15.
To actually make a tour level final. A couple of semi-finals. Yep, made much of a dent. Oh my goodness.
14
The
15.
return was short and it was taken apart.
That's the one I mean, though. Paolini throws in a lot of shots around that mid-court, so if you don't take advantage of it straight away, then you're just allowing her straight back in the rally. Kalinskaya's got no choice but to go for that.
Game Kalinskaya.
She makes it look so easy, doesn't she? With that beautiful timing.
Kalinskaya leads by 4 games to 2.
Just getting on top of the rally early, hasn't she? So far when the opportunity has been there for her.
Yeah, that definitely has to be the game plan tonight for Kalinskaya. Shorten up the rallies, focus on the first 2 shots, put all the intensity into that. Don't get involved with the long ones.
Let first serve.
Because that's what it's exactly Jasmine wants. The longer the rally, the better for her.
Fifteen love. Fifteen on.
You don't get many of those to the pound from Paolini. It's good movement off the ball, coming up the court quickly without her
14-15.
opponent seeing. When you do hit with a little bit more spin, as we often say, you can just create a bit more width as a result of that.
Let for serve.
Smart play from
40,
Kalinskaya.
30.
Rule number one, always make the volleyer play the first volley.
I get the feeling from down here, and having watched her play over the years, she's not the fastest mover out there, but she anticipates so well.
Kalinskaya, you mean?
Yeah, Kalinskaya.
Yep.
She always
Yep.
seems to put herself in the right position to make one extra ball, whereas you wouldn't say that she's as explosive as Goff or anyone like that.
That wasn't the cleanest
New
ball
ball
from Paolini, but it proved to be an effective one. Ladies World Cup last summer.
To Laura's point, even that last forehand was a high ball. That's where you need even more little extra steps. Not really.
Let for serve.
I mentioned her junior career. She actually won the doubles here in the juniors in 2016. Very early and made the final of the singles at the
30
French.
love.
So there was pedigree from a very young age.
Let for serve.
Yeah, you don't want to let Jasmine play her inside out forehand. It's
30,
the
15.
favorite shot. She can pretty much go anywhere from that position when she runs around it and hits it from the backhand corner, whether it's inside in or out.
Not a lot of net clearance from Kalinskaya at times, is there? Kind of ball that's flat, it stays low. The margins there were just a little too fine.
That was
40,
a lot of
30.
risk. She got away with it, but as you said, Nick, not too much clearance and safety.
No hesitation, though, is there?
Yeah.
The moment she senses there's just a slight opening in terms of the ball coming in for her, she's onto it.
Game Kalinskaya. Kalinskaya leads by 5 games to 3.
Also, given, sorry,
No, go.
given how much there is on the line for her, she seems very confident and
Yeah,
calm in between the points.
definitely.
Yeah. Looks like Jasmine is the one a little bit more stressed.
15 love.
That's where that serve down the tee is actually favourable, because the majority of the returns are going to come back down the kind of central channel from there, and therefore you can look to get that inside-out forehand moving.
I also feel like that serve was only 130, that Kalinskaya can do so much more with the return.
Average first serve speed for Paolini so far, 150.
Let's second serve.
Yeah, you can almost treat the first serve as a second serve, as far as how much you want to step in and be aggressive with your return. And also I would think about maybe from Kalinskaya perspective, try to hit the returns to Jasmine forehand, because those players that like to run around, they almost are ready to move to the left, to the backhand side, and many times they might be late.
Yeah, leave some space.
Yep.
I'm totally with you, Danny. I feel like when she lands after the serve, she's already protecting that side.
Yep.
And then her neutral recovery position is just off to the left of the middle.
Yeah, even just few returns to invest, to make her guess with her split step which direction she will have to go.
Just took a few steps back off the return, and that left her a little vulnerable in terms of her position. Couldn't really recover it thereafter. Certainly a contrast in styles to an extent out here, and Kalinskaya has been the more consistent of the two. Set point.
It's a typical Jasmine's kind of rally. I feel like anything about 10 shots, she is going to be the clear favorite. And that is one thing I feel Kalinskaya's game, if she wants to think about getting into top 20, her defense has to be a little bit better.
Yeah.
Feels like she doesn't want to really suffer and stay in the point no matter what.
She's tried to do that on a couple of occasions, just get a little bit more shape to the ball, get that ball jumping, but misjudged that one.
Advantage Paolini. Game Paolini.
He worked hard to earn a hold. Did Jasmine Paolini.
Kalinskaya leads by 5 games to
Set
4.
point come and goes for Anna Kalinskaya. Or try and serve for it at 5-4. Just looking at her career path, Paolini. We were touching on it earlier on, but it's certainly been one that's been another example of patience. And you talked about the challenges early on. There were a good sort of 5-6 years where sort of trying to break the top 100, 150 was a significant challenge for her, Danny.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. And she's one of those players that I don't think anyone would have expected her to be at this stage of a Grand Slam. So well done, not only to her, to Lorenzo as well. As, I think he's doing the right thing there, making Jasmine smile a little bit more, because she has been enjoying every single moment in this tournament so far. But today, I think because she wants it so much, she's been putting a little bit too much pressure on herself. And I want to see that smile back on the court. And I think that's kind of the message he was trying to send to her.
Yeah, win tonight could see Paolini inside the world's top 20. What a fabulous achievement that would be. It'll certainly be close looking at the live ranking. But more than that, she'll be a major quarter-finalist. That is not a backhand that breaks down a whole lot, is it?
It doesn't, and it's hit a little bit different. I don't know, maybe Laura, since she's a little bit closer to her shots, it seems like she's not really dropping the wrist to go under the ball, but rather around it.
To me, it seems like she's very left-hand dominant when she plays the backhand. So she comes over the top more with that hand rather than her natural, if that makes any sense.
Does to us, yeah.
Thirteen, 15.
She makes tennis look so easy.
She does.
Look at that forehand. From 1 meter behind baseline. Easy winner, just like that.
It's a double figures in terms of the winner count now.
Well, that was a fantastic backhand from Jasmine, but great recovery from Kalinskaya. This one here just barely made it over the net, but got the job done.
Yeah, that was a tremendous dig. Point saver, and it's given Kalinskaya a couple more chances to seal the set.
Game of first set. Kalinskaya.
That's impressive ball striking from Anna Kalinskaya. Coach liked it. And right now, she is tracking a place in the last 8 here in time.
Love 15.
Paolini is not having such a good time right now. And a lot of the time, she's being forced into deep parts of the court here.
Yeah, I think she's getting caught in between stepping in and letting the ball bounce. Just being rushed a little bit here.
15 all.
Beautiful camera work in terms of just showing the balance on the stretch that she had.
$30-15.
I was actually talking to Ugo Colombini the other day about Italian tennis and Italian players, and we were discussing kind of the role the federation has, and he actually said to me, and Danny, you would know a lot about this, he said to me the federation don't really financially provide a whole lot for a lot of their players. Is that, I mean, particularly obviously as they get a little bit older.
Yeah, it's more, the focus is always on the next generation and what's to come. I think they do invest in those quite a bit, but it's more about the players supporting themselves and the coaches as well. They always work closely together, and they like to train together in the same clubs. I mean, when I did pre-season in Rome, we had at least 6-7, you know, top 100 players pushing each other.
I like that they tend to stick with their coaches from juniors all the way through as well. I think so often when someone has a couple of good results, the federation bring them in to the fold, to the national centre, to the coaches that they have employed, and it's see you later to the people that they work with. But I think the Italian federation leaving them to it is the best bet.
Yeah, when you think of Matteo Berrettini, he's a great example that, you know, so many times we see players once they enter top 10 that, okay, now we need to step it up and bring that big name into our team. He stayed very loyal to Santo Padre for many, many years.
Yeah.
Even Jannik Sinner, even though Darren is there is still Simone as well. But guys, I would say the biggest advantage to training in Italy is the food. I was so looking forward to finish my morning part of the training, so keen to do everything the coach is asking me just so that I could enjoy that incredible food in any tennis club in Italy.
Maybe that's why the clubs are so busy over there then, Danny. It's not necessarily the tennis. People just
I don't
want to
know.
go there for
Of course,
lunch.
yeah. I mean, they do a little bit of workout or tennis just so that they can then have a nice lunch.
Brilliant. Big game, and you've got to love the energy that she so often brings, no matter what the scoreline.
First game, second set.
A few points in that game where she just went open court 2-3 times in a row, and the difference that it makes for Kalinskaya to feel like she can't just guess where the next ball's coming. She's actually got to pick a side, and that's where the footwork's a little bit more exposed, especially running out to that backhand.
Yeah, finally, we see also that fist bump, that fighting spirit. She brings a lot of energy to the court. Wow, that has shifted big time.
Yeah, isn't it just?
79% now for Kalinskaya. Well, let's see if she can confirm. Yeah, Jasmine just starting to be really aggressive herself. Great response at the beginning of the second set. Yeah, definitely much more energetic here. Just got to be a little bit careful. Seems like she's now the one a bit more flat.
Second serve just wasn't good enough. It was
14.
right into the slot. Only 159 Ks. Paolini was expecting it.
(15-14).
Big drop in intensity from Kalinskaya. Seems like she has relaxed a little bit too much after that first set.
Oh.
Yeah, that's better.
It was something she did so
13.
well against Sloane Stephens the other day. Lost the first set in an epic tie-break and then came out firing 6-1 second set, ripping everything.
Yeah, that was quite the battle. 2 hours and 45 minutes to overcome the former US Open champion.
And that's what she has to do in the second set as well. To be really aggressive, just like she was in the second set against Sloane. She doesn't want to be in the long rallies with Jasmine.
Few chances have got away so far for Paolini.
Advantage Kalinskaya.
It was almost like she tried to catch her out with the slow serve here, wasn't it?
Yeah, just didn't have enough kick.
Advantage
Danny, I know
Kalinskaya.
if you were out here, you would have taken that high ball out of the air.
Yep. I was just thinking she could step in and take the ball on the rise. Well, Laura, you will do the same.
Deuce.
Listen, I tried to keep the rallies to 3 shots at most.
So did I. That's why we are so effective in doubles in the Legends now these days. We don't waste time. Oh, she missed it, but that was the right thing to do.
Advantage Kalinskaya.
Smile from player to coach, because she did very well, Kalinskaya, didn't she? To extend the point. Maybe surprising herself.
It's nice to see the coaches smiling this
Yeah,
much.
I
Both
agree.
Patricia and Lorenzo, so refreshing. It's almost like both coaches have the attitude of, you know what, we are so happy for you to be there. You now go and enjoy themselves. And it's up to you what you do on the court. It's in your hands. Although there he looked a little bit more tense.
Again, a good early change of direction in the rally from Paolini.
Let's first serve. Advantage Kalinskaya. Game, Kalinskaya.
Well, there's definitely a little bit more about Paolini, but yet to make a breakthrough in terms of the serve of Kalinskaya. They're happy.
Oh, really, very synchronized.
Yes. Maybe they've rehearsed it, Danny. I think they probably have. Doesn't give much away, Kalinskaya, does she? Fairly poker-faced individual on court.
Oh.
Well, she got away with it, but Nick, that return I would like to see, as we were saying with Laura, just go a few times back and inside out.
The lob was actually a very smart choice, wasn't it? Because having just missed one,
yep,
you kind of felt like just going to be a little bit more tense. Expect maybe another one to go up when she comes forward. Eating away at the confidence.
Such a beautiful wrist action. Wow.
30-15.
Talking about good timing. That one was spot on. She stays down so beautifully after she hits her shots, Jasmine.
Good ground stroke is about so many components, but it's often about good balance, isn't it? It's about keeping the head very still off the ground. The head is the stabilizer.
Game, Paolini.
So the Italian able to move ahead early doors in the second. She won't be giving up anytime soon.
Yeah, it's, I think, trying to tell her to change up the rhythm a little bit, go high, high, and then quickly step in, also to stay calm. I think she's done well to get rid of those nerves that were obvious at the beginning of the match.
Time.
looking at the skyline there in the background. I think that's why this Grand Slam is such a favorite among the players, because it takes very little time to get back to your hotel room, enjoy the restaurants nearby. Just saves so much energy having that kind of setup.
15 left.
Which of the majors did you feel most relaxed at or at ease at?
Actually, this one, Nick, because everything's just so comfortable. No issues, really. The tournament does such a good job. Any requirements, needs you might have, they always, they can, if they can try to meet them and do their best.
Oh, that is so good.
30 left.
Again, she makes it look so easy. That was such a difficult shot to hit. I love his reaction. I think Kalinskaya there, she had the opening to go hard down the line. Maybe was trying to be a little bit too fancy with his forehand short angle, but Jasmine was ready for it.
It's unlucky.
40-15.
Kalinskaya on the move.
But in this second set, she's doing all the right things, Nick.
She is.
Yeah.
Been a bit more proactive, isn't she? Feels that way anyway.
Game, Kalinskaya.
It's been the biggest difference in Paolini over the years, in the last 2 years in
2
particular,
games
once her
on.
ranking kind of shot up. I feel like she's making more of a conscious effort to move up and back. In years past, when you saw her, she was playing the same way, but it was 1.5 meters further back behind the baseline, and just what that allows her to do, bring in the flair, bring in the hands, and then you can see how much skill she's got when she's actually able to come forward.
I guess the
Love
only
15.
downside at times to her, because she's not the most imposing of characters, when she is coming in off a ball like this, there isn't quite the intimidation. I wouldn't have thought, if you know what I'm coming from.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I think both girls there seem to be really nice and super cool off the court. So, yeah, I think not too many players are going to be overwhelmed by their personality on the court. But at the same time, I like their attitude. You know, they're just focusing on their side of the court, going about their business the right way. Their coaches as well. Nice energy out there tonight.
Oh, opportunity missed there.
15 all.
Nick, were you talking about the height as well? Because,
Yeah, just when coming forwards. When, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When she's coming in. Because clearly there's not a massive presence when she comes forwards, right?
No, and there's a very big target off both sides because her wingspan just isn't there.
Exactly. Just got a bit rushed into the forehand lane for once.
13.
Yeah, even as good as Jasmine's forehand is, you want to make her play a lot of forehands from the forehand side,
Yes.
not from the backhand side. Oh, yeah. It's that improvement Laura was referring to. She's hitting everything so much closer to the baseline or inside of it. Such a beautiful shoulder turn. When she does that, it's impossible to see whether she will go inside in or inside out.
Thirty 14.
I think it has a lot to do, this miss, with what we were saying before the match, the court just being a little bit slower. Definitely a lot that both players need to adjust tonight.
Game, Kalinskaya.
On top of the second serve, pressed. And has been able to stretch her lead here. It's Kalinskaya, and now up a set and a break.
I don't know what you guys think, but there is not much that I want to say that Paolini needs to change or do better. Just has to stay there and wait that maybe Kalinskaya start to miss a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, numbers can be misleading, Danny, can't they? But you look at the card for Kalinskaya today, and we have 17 winners and just 12 unforced, which, if we're just going by those numbers, and it has felt as though she struck the ball that well, this has been a very impressive performance.
It's not too much that Kalinskaya has done wrong, and that's very impressive given how much there is on the line for her.
She's definitely playing well, but from down here it just feels like she has the time to do so, that Paolini could be doing a little bit more off her forehand side in particular, using the width, getting some extra height when needed, just a bit more variation, you feel.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Good point.
Neither player had a particularly great record at the majors coming into this week. In fact, just 7 wins each. But they have been able to correct that over the course of week 1 here. Sky looking to go even deeper.
Love 15.
Oh, what a rally from both players.
15 on.
Just a drop shot. A little bit of air on it.
Yeah. Got there with ample time, did Kalinskaya. Did some good chasing in that exchange. Some good results leading in here as well into Melbourne. Krejcikova in Adelaide, which obviously now, given what how well Barbora's played here, you get the feeling that there's obviously a high quality display. Lost narrowly to Kazakhina, 5 in the third in the next round.
She loves her shots up the line.
40-15.
Makes it look so easy to change the direction like that, but it's not.
Game, Kalinskaya. New ball,
The
please.
initial lob nowhere near good enough. And Kalinskaya is able to consolidate the break.
Kalinskaya leads by 4 games to 2.
And again, Nick, the calmness after winning that game and now being only 8 points away from the biggest win of her life and getting into the quarterfinals. She just doesn't overreact, does she?
Doesn't look phased. No. Certainly agree with you there. Just
15.
washing a touch now, isn't she?
I mean, she's doing the right thing, trying to be more aggressive. Just rushing it a little bit too much, Jasmine.
Oh.
There it is again, Danny. Just deadly with that shot.
Yeah. She can hit up the lines from literally any position on the court.
And Paolini's first serve, that isn't always the most potent, is suffering right now. Just 17 of 35, below 50% first serve points won.
Wow. Again, how do you go up the line from that deep in the middle of the court? The general rule would be, okay, a little bit more spin, cross court, simple.
Yeah. Not too dissimilar to the match that Laura and I saw earlier on with Yastremska. Very similar in terms of shots that she can sometimes take on that aren't always the most clear. How fitting that the break should come on a shot that has served her so well out here this evening.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a great way to look at things for Jasmine now. She's at the point of the match where she just has to relax, loosen up, go for it. Nothing to lose here. She makes down the line look as casual as cross court.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It's almost like the other way around, that I get a little bit more nervous when she hits the cross court, not when she goes up the line.
A win today would actually take her into the top 40 in the world, having just had a look at the live rankings. So massive jump.
30-15.
Hitting the ball as she has been tonight, it's definitely top 20 at least potential.
Let us serve.
pressure has been incessant
14,
on Paolini out here,
15.
in truth, particularly in this latter half of this set. And a smile, understandably, on the face of Kalinskaya, who's got to match point. An exceptional display from Anna Kalinskaya. Just 1 hour and 17 minutes is all it took to move in to the quarterfinals here in Melbourne. Jasmine Paolini's out. It's the Russian that's moving on to the quarters.
Nick, I think it's fair to say we loved every single second of Kalinskaya's performance today. It seems like she could have not done anything wrong, especially in that second set. That, to me, it's one of the best performances in the second set we've seen. A lot of credit that Jasmine deserves as well throughout this tournament. She has to be so proud, and I hope Lorenzo, after the match, will tell her right away that, look, your opponent today was just too good on the day.
Yeah.
You gave it all. Not really much you could have done in that second set when Kalinskaya was hitting winner after winner from pretty much any position on the court. But what a tournament it has been for the Italian, and she will be back stronger, and we will hear so many incredible things from this very special Italian player.
And a hug. How nice is that? For some die-hard fans who want to get a picture with her, she's very willing to do so. A journey, a long journey for Paolini. She is exiting Melbourne with her head held high. We're going to hear from Kalinskaya, though, in a moment, who's going to be speaking with Laura Robson.
Anna, you are in your first Grand Slam quarter-final. Tell me how that feels.
It feels amazing. It felt amazing to pass 2 rounds in the Grand Slam, but playing so many matches in such a beautiful tournament, it's something special for sure.
And you'd never been past the second round of a Grand Slam before. What's been different about the last week and a half now to make you play this well out here?
Well, I think I improve my game. Obviously, that's the key to win matches. And yeah, I keep fighting, and I'm staying positive.
You're so calm, you're so measured. How, basically, is the question, because it didn't seem like you were nervous at all trying to serve it out there, and you hit more winners than unforced errors today. How were you able to play your best tennis, given that you've never been in this situation before?
Yeah, maybe I don't show it, but also I had a tough first 3 rounds, so I can't be nervous anymore.
You're just used to it?
Yeah.
Wow, if it's that simple, I want to talk about the way that you played today against Jasmine. It just felt like you had a bit more power from the baseline. What were the tactics? Were you just trying to be as aggressive as possible on court?
Yeah, I played against her, I think, a couple of years ago when I lost, so I'm happy to take a revenge. And obviously, I focused to be more consistent than her and take my chances when I can and be aggressive.
And you said after the last match that if someone asked you if you'd be in the 4th round, you would have said yes. I'm going to ask you the same thing. If someone asked you a few weeks ago if you thought you'd be in a quarter-final of the Australian Open, what would you have said?
I would believe it. Yeah, I believe in myself.
Love that. And then lastly, your opponents play tonight, their second night match. Are you going to watch it, or are you just going to celebrate for the night?
No, I'm definitely going to watch and get ready for the next round.
All business. Give it up for Anna Kalinskaya.